Hi, and welcome to the Oregon Education Association's How to Gather Signatures training for IP 28.
This is Jenny Smith.
And this is Trent Lutz.
We are so excited that we have our signature sheets back and ready to collect signatures.
Yay! To start off with, let's go ahead and look at what the title exactly says. It increases corporate minimum tax when sales exceed $25 million, funds education, healthcare, and senior services.
This can be found on the top of every petition sheet. So we want you to feel comfortable getting signatures. It's really simple. It's about following the instructions. First, the person needs to sign, then the date signed, month, day, year, and it's most important that the month comes first, and then the day, and then the year. Then they need to print their name, and my name is Jenny, but my real name is Jennifer, so I'd write Jennifer down here. Then their residence or mailing address, where they're registered to vote. And remember, only registered Oregon voters can sign.
And then the petitions themselves have a perforation. This part will actually be removed once they're turned in, but we want to be able to collect their phone number, whether it's okay to text them, and their email address, so just in case we have any questions or need to follow up with them, that we have that ability. So please ask them to fill that out.
And make sure when they're writing their address that it stays to the left of the perforation.
That's right. So to go ahead and get started, our first signature, John Tate here, has filled everything out correctly. He obviously made it very clear and he put everything in the right area. This is important that that first signature is done correctly because everybody who signs after that will follow that as the example.
Make sure they write clearly and legibly. Here's a couple more examples. It looks like everyone did everything correctly. Even though the dates look a little bit different, they're all in the month, day, year format. And they all stayed to the left of the perforation.
So in our next signature, we have Sal Tillman. It looks like actually he, unfortunately, printed where he was supposed to sign and signed where he was supposed to print. Don't worry, if this happens, it's totally fixable. This won't ruin the sheet at all. All you have to do is just go ahead and scratch through the entire line and then have them refill it back out again and make sure that they fill out the information correctly.
So don't worry, mistakes are totally fixable. Sal's just going to sign on that next line with his correct information in the correct place. But he made one small mistake still.
Yeah, it looks like he actually dated this for 2005. I wish we had this ballot measure 10 years ago, but it looks like that still needs to be corrected to make it legal. Here, in order to make it work, all they need to do, if it's a small mistake, is just scratch it out right there, fill in the correct information, and initial it. That way, you know exactly that that voter has actually updated their information.
So this signature and the rest of the sheet would be just fine.
And then you can just go on and keep collecting all the way to the bottom. The fact is that here you can see that Penelope Pickled signed on line 10, skipping a few lines. That's absolutely okay. Number one is that it doesn't matter which line folks put their information on. And number two is that you can absolutely turn in a sheet and missing lines. It can be an incomplete sheet. Totally will count for the voters that actually sign that sheet.
So if you only sign up one person or you have 10, either way is just fine. When you're done collecting signatures, whether your sheet is full or you're just done for the day, you need to sign at the bottom, verifying that you witnessed these signatures.
That's right. You are the circulator. So make sure that you fill out your information in the correct place as well. That you sign where it's signature and date in the same order, the month, day, year, and that you actually print your name and put your registered voter's address. So here it looks like John Tate accidentally got the date wrong.
So he forgot that it was the 3rd, thought it was the 2nd, but he can easily fix that. In the circulator portion, you don't want to cross anything out. Instead of crossing it out, you can just write the correct information next to it and initial the right date, and that'll work just fine.
So there's one last piece of information that's being asked for, which is the sheet number. This is something that you actually don't need to fill out. Once all sheets are turned in, this information will be filled out by the office.
So don't worry about it. Thanks so much for collecting signatures. When you're done, we need you to turn them in.
That's right. It's really easy. There's 3 different places that you can turn it in, which is number one, is give it back to the person who originally had given you the signature sheet. They should know where to turn it in from there. Also, you can turn it into your OEA office, your staff person, or your local president. They should also be able to make sure it gets in the right hands. And if you don't have any of those options available, feel free to mail it back to the OEA headquarters at this address listed. And thank you so much for collecting. If you have any questions, you can just contact us at oea-gr@oregoned.org.
Thank you so much.
Happy collecting!